Education, the Right to It, by George Saintsbury, published in A Scrapbook, 1922. One prepares oneself to hear nonsense whenever the word right is uttered. Footnote. Within half an hour of correcting this proof, I have just read that no one has a right to punish a child. In the sense that to punish a child is a duty, not a right, one may agree. Otherwise, the statement is purely idiotic. Of course, it was attributed to a professor. We are, alas, born to folly, as baronets to badness. End of footnote. If the utterance concerns an individual, the expectation may be limited to boredom. When it extends to classes, peoples, or humanity at large, serious mischief may be apprehended. That nobody has any right to anything except what he already has may look like a paradox of the rotting type, which sprang up when the 19th century was becoming high, and has not yet been quite cleared away. But it has a great deal of truth in it. At any rate, to say, as the right reverend person referred to before said, that every child has a right to a good education is nonsense of the most mischievous and mischief of the most nonsensical. To say that all parents who bring children into the world ought to give them as good and suitable an education as they can is to say something defensible enough. But it will be observed by any one possessing intelligence that the whole point of view and standard of judgment are changed in it. Duty imposes something on one side, but it by no means confers anything on the other. Had his lordship, as bishops would once have done, dwelt on the duty of parents in this respect, had he even gone further, and expiated on the charity incumbent on others than parents in this respect, no one could have found serious fault with him, though one might have desiderated an addition or limitation having reference to the educatableness of the particular child and the extent to which children educated up to this or that standard are wanted. But a child has, as such, and without reference to his or her parents, as much and as little right to a good education as he has to a good horse, a good yacht, or a good dukedom. You may think it expedient that he should have a chance of it, which is, if not certain, arguable, again with reasonable limitations, but expediency confers no right. In fact, a little treatise of right in combined manners of Hobbes and Swift would be a choice thing. The right to vote, with its companion right to be outvoted. Footnote. The only logical system of voting involves the old Polish liberum veto, and alas, we do not need history to tell us what that came to. Nay, even with it, there is the little difficulty that each member of the majority is defrauded of his will. The vote and the veto and the vote, are as fatally entwined in struggle as they are mysteriously coupled in spelling. End of footnote. The right to the land on which you were born, with its large but vague corollary of right to the vessel or even the sea on which you may possibly have come into existence, many, nay, most other rights would afford excellent texts, but the right to a good education would come not very far below the best of them.